Maybe you are tuning into a real estate podcast because you are a renter and wondering if you should dip your toes into the real estate world as a first-time home buyer. Maybe you are a current homeowner and tuning into a mortgage podcast to get the skinny on mortgage rates to see if you should refi or even better, upgrade your housing situation. Right now, real estate and home loans are available and they both are on sale. My name is Kevin Martini, and in this special episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, it's all about the 5 financial reasons of home ownership. And this is great information for if you live in Raleigh, North Carolina, or anywhere in North Carolina, or any city or state in the U.S., for that matter.
This is the Martini Mortgage Podcast with Kevin Martini.
Let me start with a factual disclaimer. No one on YouTube and no one on Facebook or Instagram, and no one on a podcast for that matter, and most definitely no one that promises to take you to the moon on a rocket can tell you if it is good or it is a smart idea for you to buy a home. I have personally been in the financial services since the late 80s, and I have been exclusively in the mortgage arena here in North Carolina since 2006. And I have found that every family I have the privilege to work with is different. There is not a cookie cutter response to if you should buy a home for the first time, or if you should refinance, or if you should sell your current house and upgrade, or if you should sell your current house and downsize. Oh, by the way, downsizing does not mean downgrading. Let me share an Instagram hashtag Kevin Martini Live talking point. Think about this for a moment. Getting a mortgage is not kind of a big deal. It is a big deal. A mortgage is a financial instrument just like a stock or a bond that you may buy in your portfolio. You would never buy a stock without making sure it properly fit into your portfolio, would you? You should not just buy a house because someone says you should. You should not refinance just because you think the rate is just a little lower. It needs to make sense. It needs to make economic sense. You know, during this pandemic, myself and fellow mortgage strategist Logan Martini have helped people that figured out their current house just did not meet their needs. Some of the families have increased their square footage and their price point too. However, their payment remained the same or lower. How can that happen? Well, simply put, right now, mortgage rates are on sale, and low home loan rates allow one to amplify their buying power. Let me continue with this factual disclaimer. If you're looking for someone who just peddles mortgages, then hit the stop button right now, because this is not for you and this is not me. For many, buying a home makes sense. For some, it just does not. For many, it makes sense to refinance to a lower rate or maybe even a lower term. But for some, it does not. I help families make smart decisions based not just on their short-term goals, but with keeping their long-term goals beeping on the radar. It has always mattered who your lender is, but in a COVID world, it matters even more. It should always be loan first and then go find your home. Now, if buying a home is right for you and your family for the first time, or as a repeat home buyer, then I want to share some of the financial benefits associated with buying a home and getting a mortgage with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage. Let me dive into the 5 financial reasons of home ownership. Hashtag Kevin Martini Live. Reason number 1 is leverage. Housing is one of the only leveraged investments still available today. So what is leverage? Simply put, leverage is the use of borrowed money to increase your return. To illustrate, let us assume that you want to buy a home in Raleigh and you want to buy a home that is priced, say, at $500,000. For the purpose of illustration only, let's assume that you are putting 20% down. Let me be clear. Let me do a sidebar to make sure I'm crystal clear. There are loan programs that we offer at the Martini Mortgage Group that do not require a 20% down payment. In fact, there are low down payment and even programs that offer no down payment. Okay, let me get back to this example. The home is priced at $500,000. You put 20% down. That is $100,000. And you would get an epic mortgage rate on your $400,000 mortgage with me, Kevin Martini. Now, I say epic because at the time of this recording, mortgage rates recently fell below 3% for the first time in 50 years. Now, let us fast forward, say, 1 year. In other words, you got the house, you got the mortgage, and you are moved into that home, and you have lived in it for 12 months. To make this illustration as accurate as possible, you need to know that the Martini Mortgage Group is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Raleigh is located in Wake County, North Carolina. And Wake County is forecasted to have home appreciation of 3.79% over the next 12 months. So let us use the Wake County forecast for illustration. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying your home will appreciate this amount. It may be lower, it may be higher, it may not exist, but I'm just using the forecasted data as a benchmark. No pun intended. That $500,000 home that you just purchased 12 months ago is now worth $518,950 based on the forecasted appreciation. Assume this is your only asset. Your net worth is now $518,950. Now think about this. Let's say you did not buy that $500,000 home in Raleigh, and let's assume that you purchased a $100,000 home for cash in Raleigh 12 months ago. Using the 3.79 forecasted appreciation in the previous example, then your net worth would be $103,790. Make sense so far? With leverage, you made $15,160 more. Let me share a quote from the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University on this topic. And I quote, "Homeownership allows households to amplify any appreciation on the value of their home by a leverage factor." End quote. Hashtag Kevin Martini Live. Reason number 2 is crazy simple and so very obvious, but many people just miss it. You are paying for housing whether you own or rent. Here's the fact. When you rent, you are paying a mortgage. You are paying your landlord's mortgage for them. Right now, I mean today, many loans are approved with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage with a low down payment, and even with someone that has a bump or a bruise on their credit. In addition, it does not matter if you're working with me, Kevin Martini, or my business partner, Logan Martini. We all offer, as your mortgage strategist, a no down payment option too, with the Rural Development Home Loan, which is also known as the USDA Home Loan. Of course, another no down payment solution is the VA Home Loan, which in my opinion is the best home loan program available, as it should be, because it is for the bravest of the brave that serve or have served this country. We also offer a down payment assistance program with the help of North Carolina Housing and Finance Agency too. I have firsthand confirmation that bad things happen to good people, and that is why I proudly offer a special FHA home loan to help families that have had a hiccup on their credit. I have personally helped families when their credit score was as low as 580. The Martini Mortgage Group also offers community lending programs via Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, such as Home Ready and Home Possible are just two of the amazing programs with a low down payment requirement, when I say low, 3%, and provides preferred mortgage insurance rates. Hashtag Kevin Martini Live. Reason number 3 is forced savings. Owning a home is usually a form of forced savings. Every month when you write the check for your mortgage, you are not just paying the interest, you are also paying the principal. When you pay the principal, you are reducing the amount that you owe on that mortgage. Let me illustrate. If you purchased a $500,000 home and you put 20% down, and for example, let's just assume a 3% rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage. Just like the example we talked about earlier when we were discussing that housing is one of the only leverage investments still available today. In this example, your principal and your interest would be $1,686 a month. Every month when you make that payment, you are retiring debt every month. In this example, you're making a forced savings deposit over $685 a month. In this example, you are making a forced savings deposit of over $8,350 a year. Hashtag Kevin Martini Live. Reason number 4 is potential tax savings. There may be substantial tax benefits to owning a home and having a mortgage. A unique financial reason to buying a home is if you itemize your taxes, you may be able to deduct the mortgage interest you pay. Not only is the mortgage interest tax deductible, but also is the SALT. SALT stands for state and local taxes. When you rent, there is no tax benefit, nor the ability to write off rent on your federal or state taxes. However, do not fret. Your landlord most likely will get this benefit, and I'm sure your landlord is thankful you are also participating in their forced savings. Oh, by the way, if you are a first-time home buyer in North Carolina, you may be eligible for a tax credit of up to $2,000 a year for every year that you are in the home as your primary residence. You heard me correct. Tax credit up to $2,000 a year. The program we offer is called the Mortgage Credit Certificate. You heard me correctly one more time. There is available today a tax credit for up to $2,000 a year for a first-time home buyer in North Carolina that the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage can help you with. And for the record, even though you get the tax credit, you still may be able to deduct a portion of your mortgage interest. Please know I'm a mortgage strategist, not a CPA. Consult with your tax professional for more information. Hashtag Kevin Martini Live. Reason number 5 is hedge. Owning a home is typically a hedge against inflation. Let me define inflation. Inflation is a general increase in prices and a fall in purchasing value of money. Right now, there's not even a whisper of inflation. However, it is my opinion there will be a point that inflation will rear its head and it will sound like the roar of a lion. Housing costs and rents have tended over most periods of time to go up higher than the rate of inflation. And for this reason, owning a home is still an attractive proposition because it provides a hedge against inflation. Let me recap. There are financial reasons to buy a home, and the top 5 Kevin Martini reasons are: number 1, housing is one of the only leveraged investments still available today. Number 2, when you rent, you are paying for a mortgage. You are just paying your landlord's mortgage for them. Number 3, owning a home is usually a form of forced savings. Number 4, there may be substantial tax benefits to owning a home and having a mortgage. Number 5, owning a home is typically a hedge against inflation. Let me wrap this episode up, episode 108 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. If you're thinking of buying a home for the first time, or if you are a repeat home buyer, the first step should always be the home loan. The second step should be to go find your home. Get qualified for the right mortgage, and getting the right mortgage for your home is not like shopping for the lowest price gas for your car. Listen, every mortgage company secures the money from the same source, so everyone at the end of the day has the same mortgage rates. However, not everyone provides trusted advice, and not everyone provides a world-class experience, and not everyone manages your mortgage for you after you close. I believe, and I have built a mortgage practice by understanding the families I work with needs and wants, and having a working knowledge of their short and long-term goals. Armed with this information, myself and fellow mortgage strategist, Logan Martini, are able to provide a customized home loan solution that provides the families we serve with not just price and cost clarity, but gives them certainty during the home buying process. The Martini Mortgage Group was founded on relationships because people matter the most. The Martini Mortgage Group offers trusted advice that you can bank on with great mortgage rates while providing on-time real estate closings with a world-class experience. The Martini Mortgage Group provides the families we work with not just certainty, but also provides a frictionless process and mortgage management post-closing to get you debt-free as quickly as possible. I know how precious time is, and I'm very thankful that you took the time to tune into this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. My name is Kevin Martini, and this episode 108 was about the 5 financial reasons of homeownership in Raleigh, or anywhere in North Carolina, or any city and state in the U.S. for that matter. If you have questions about what I talked about, I am here. Just give me a jingle by calling 919-238-4934, or visit us on the web by going to martinimortgage.com. Thank you in advance for subscribing and leaving a 5-star review. And if you think there is someone you care about that could benefit from what I shared, please share this episode 108 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast with them. Please stay safe. Wishing you peace and blessings.
The Martini Mortgage Group has provided since 2006 trusted personalized mortgage financing advice to provide the families they serve with not just price and cost clarity, but to give them certainty during the home buying or refinancing process, along with a frictionless, secure, and digital mortgage process. It should always be home loan first and then go find your home. If you or someone you care about has questions about the current mortgage rate environment or the unique home loan solutions the Martini Mortgage Group offers, we invite you to call by dialing 919-238-4934 or check them out on the web by going to martinimortgage.com. The information contained in this podcast presentation is for general product information purposes only. Arklatex Financial Services, LLC, NMLS number 2143, doing business as Benchmark Mortgage, makes no representations or warranties of any kind, expressed or implied, about the completeness, reliability, stability, or availability with respect to the information, products, or services. All loans subject to borrower qualifying. Other restrictions may apply. Branch Manager Kevin Martini, NMLS number 134962. Branch located at 507 North Blunt Street, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27604. Contact the branch by calling 919-238-4934. Equal housing opportunity.